Peace unto you. Thank you for joining. Today is for the eclipse on the 8th. We're going to wait for a few more people to get here, but if you're interested in the preparation, how to prepare for this eclipse, yeah, it's a big one. That's why a lot of people are talking about it. It's not even just about Egyptian times as well. For a little about myself is, my name is Nadiie, and we astral project every single night. And what's very, very interesting about the astral realms and the laws in the astral realms is there are certain things that are in accordance with Source's will in the astral realms. For example, one of them is a being from any particular dimension. Let's say you were from the 7th dimension. A being from the 7th dimension understands it serves not to go into the spirit realms and be in that exact same dimension. There are certain beings in place to keep that order, aspects of yourself. And one of the reasonings is if you aren't fully integrated with that of the truth, then what will happen is, you have the people that are tainted by materialism. So they'll astral project, go in the same dimension, try to find the lottery numbers, and then yeah, we won, but you don't even know that it was Source's will for Sally over here to win the lottery, because Sally is going to get inspired by Joe over here, and then Joe is going to utilize Sally's income to spread this particular message, maybe in the corporate field, because there's light workers everywhere. There isn't just light workers that are the typical ones. There's the workers in strip clubs, there's light workers in the normal clubs, there's light workers that are homeless. Light workers is not, it's like this. Yeshua, for example, and Yeshua, me and Yeshua, we converse a lot. We're all of us is on this path of what Christ consciousness is. And Yeshua spoke to me, and Yeshua was like, Nadiie, and Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, Nadiie, it's funny to me how there's a lot of beings, and remember, when beings speak to us, they go through our filters. So when you're speaking to a being, its purpose is to guide you to the most comfort as possible. So you would hear Yeshua say certain terminology that you utilize for the message to come across, because God does not care about how you get to the destination. It just focuses on, did you get to the destination? That's why we say judge not, for a warlock can become the most wisest of them all priests. So it's just like, give him, some time. But Yeshua was like, Nadiie, everyone loves to dress like me, be like me, and live like me on the soul level. Even if our physical eye says, no, it can't be. No, it is. Though this is, know that if I was in your time, Nadiie, I would not be wearing robes. I would not be wearing these type of garments. I would be wearing Jordans. And then the message stopped. Yeshua loves to just peek in, send something real small, and then you're like, oh, that does make sense. If the Christ consciousness came back in one vessel, because remember, all of us is Christ consciousness, and this is all for the preparation of the eclipse, because what's happening on the eclipse is, you have certain scientists, and these scientists are in complete accordance with the stars and astrology. The government is, Hollywood is, everybody knows about the stars, because you must understand these beings, they think very, very far. It's the colonizer energy. Don't think of a particular race when we say colonizer. It's a colonizer energy. There are beings in the galactic histories that were colonizing. So that just got passed down. Now, there's these scientists that are utilizing this astrological period, and they want to utilize some portals and things of that nature. So you have a lot of beings that are, interested in this. It was very interesting with the conversing of myself and what you perceive Yeshua is, mainly because the point of it is to know that you, as your peers, everyone around you, your environment, you are enough, and you are just as potent as any master that is revered. It's very, very important for us to anchor this now, because this is the mastery course for eclipse preparation. What is an eclipse? Far beyond what you see behind me. It's not simply, the sun illuminating in a very different way. The eclipse is a point in our experience in this life where we are aligning with something that is beyond us. And every soul that is aligned with that which is incarnation, these souls, they know of particular points, we call them junction points, within a lifetime or a soul's life. And about incarnation, a soul isn't just assigned one incarnation or one vessel. And know that the soul itself is the one who is performing the assignments. There's not no other power. We are the only ones that feel like we must incarnate. Source and all the other beings of light are saying, you're done, you're complete. It's just come back home. And then our souls is no, but remember, I did Rachel over there so wrong. I did, nature and this being so like, I gotta go back and I gotta make it right. That's our souls doing that. It's nobody else influencing us. We can make the decision to just leave. When you move past that, you'll understand and anchor that this soul that you are has aligned itself with many, many, many lives. For example, let's say you wanted to come to Earth. Let's say that was a goal of yours. Source to say, okay, well, to get to Earth, you have to live as everything on Earth. You have to be a rock. You have to be a tree. You have to be the bird. You have to be everything. And then you'll slowly make and this is teachings from Loria. This is not something that just randomly aligned with this channel. No. This is something from Loria. The beings of Loria, if you don't understand what Loria is, all of this is for the eclipse preparation. The reason all of this is for the eclipse preparation is, remember, the eclipse is about aligning oneself with something beyond it and shining differently. Now, it's about what do you want to shine differently? How do you want your life to shift? So all that is coming through this vessel, through this aspect of yourself, is for the eclipse preparation. Because on that day, it's going to serve for everyone to be like, okay, I know who I am. Even goes back to when me and Source were conversing a few days ago. And Source was talking about the music industry and was essentially saying, figure out what you want. Because if you don't know what you want and you go there with an asking price, step back. You never want to go into a place with an asking price as a being that is Source's abundance. You are God's abundance, Source, A.K.A. God. You are the abundance of God. So why are you asking for anything, especially from that industry? So it's like this one Dave Chappelle interview, he was talking about how when him and his father was speaking of the industry, he was saying, go in with the price, never go higher, never go lower. And your price is pricelessness. So there's nothing that can be offered that can sway any direction. So in Lemuria, that is essentially before Atlantis, in the mythos. These galactic histories talk about these beings that were intertwined with the Lemuria. They were so much in oneness, so much in the now, because contrary to popular belief, memory isn't just about the past, because the past and the future is not so. It's only about the now. So there's memory of the now. That's even talked about in A Course in Miracles. And A Course in Miracles is said to be written by the Christ consciousness, not just a particular being, but Christ consciousness itself. So these beings of Lemuria was not focused on anything else besides the now, so much so that they utilized crystals for memory. But they understood that projection was possible in anything. So they utilized the energy and the techniques of projection. And it was like, I'm going to project this now into this crystal. It's not a memory. They're just saying, I'm going to project this now into this crystal. Let's say there was like planting a seed or, molding something. They will project this now. And then when anybody would touch the crystal in their little library, crystal library, they will remember how to utilize molding or, any particular act like gardening or whatever Loria was doing. Loria was a more feminine energy. And when we say feminine energy, it has nothing to do with gender. Feminine is a nurturer. So it takes the feminine energy to want to garden because you're tending to something tediously. That's a feminine energy. And then you have Atlantis, the masculine. So even when we utilize all of these gifts, and it was at these particular times, you had the feminine, Loria, and you had the masculine, Atlantis. The point of all of this in unison was them coming together and going back home, but they just further separated themselves. And the more the projection teachings were all about understanding that your consciousness could go anywhere. Especially in this world, your consciousness can go anywhere. And the more knew that well. So when a soul chooses to incarnate on Earth, it's not just one life. Let's say they want to get to Earth. The source is saying, incarnate in all of these things first. The trees, the squirrels, all of the animals, learn how to become it because you can. And then eventually you get a soul that is ready for Earth. And it's very, very beautiful, but there is an amnesia aspect to it. We come in because Earth is a school. If you ever dreamed about a school, ever going to a school, I don't care if it was your highest school, yeah, you're actually in what we call original dimension. An original dimension is essentially all of the souls going to school, learning about Earth. When you dream about school, you're actually getting memories of the now. Because remember, time is not real. And this goes into our conversation with Source directly. And what one must anchor with this mastery course for eclipse preparation is, one, see yourself as this vessel speaking. See yourself as any leader, any person you revere, any person you even like. If you see qualities that your eyes deem as beautiful, accept that for yourself. And note that everything that is being stated, there's a woving aspect to it. And you'll see that woving. Even if you want to ask a specific question, just say it in the comments and we'll see it if it serves. And it most likely will serve, especially in today. And this woving process is like the scribe. It's like the emerald tablets. This live is like the emerald tablets. You're literally living it, and then it's transcribed. So this, remember, and it goes back to our conversation with Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus. Jesus said, Nadiie, if we were in that time, we would not be wearing robes. We would not be wearing those garments. We would be wearing Jordans. We would look just like you. We will act just like you, talk just like you. The way we even talked was of that time. So that's why it's like, if you see somebody that is beautiful in their essence and their presence, give them the same respect as if you would give Yeshua. Because that would be Yeshua in this time. It's like something so simple. Yeshua's very simple. It's like something so simple. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so profound. Yes. You never, like, if Jesus was here today, you wouldn't know. Because he will be wearing Jordans. He will be wearing chains. Some days he won't wear chains. Some days he'll go in this club. Some days he'll go in this club. Because remember, there were stories of him going where the prostitutes was, going to where these people were, and bringing the light. Because if you're not going to bring the light to these dark caves, then who will? So, all of this is this woving process. This mastery course for eclipse preparation. You're ready for Earth. That's why you're here. If at any point we was like, man, I don't know if I could do this, and you woke up again, oh, you're far more powerful than what you're giving yourself credit for. Because remember, there are people that checked out. And if you can't even fathom that, then appreciate who you are. Don't appreciate something that someone said for you. Appreciate who you are. Know who you are. Because a part of this eclipse is about seeing who has made an intention. That rolls into another aspect of how to prepare for this eclipse. intention. See, intention isn't just you setting what you think a thought is, for thought is not so. You need not thought. Intention is aligning yourself with a decision that you know shall be done. For example, we have a show that's coming up. April 7th. Me and my brothers, we make music. My cousin called me a few days ago. We did a Friday night. He called me a few days ago and was like, we want to pass out these flyers, I want to make them. And I told him, I'll be with you. At around like 9 o'clock, so right before the moon is at its peak, he called me, did want to pass out the flyers, and he hung up. I ended up slipping into the astral realms. I actually projected right after that conversation because I was very, very tired when he called me. So my only intention, my only decision was passing out these flyers. It's the source is simple. An intent is a clear decision that you know is going to be made. When I went into the astral realms, I went into this dimension. And that within itself is even wild that it's happening. See, how prophets are made is prophets are given clearance. Yes, the word clearance, like the CIA and, their files that have to be seen and, accounted for by specific and only specific people. Clearance, yes, there's clearance in the spiritual realms. Certain people that are in the alignment with the prophet frequency, they have clearance to go in their same dimension because we know they have the integrity to not just try to find their lottery numbers. And when these beings go into their original dimensions, they experience their life. It'll be the same house, the same size of the house, because sometimes when you go into astral realms, your house is a little bigger, maybe a little wonky. There may be more furniture, and there may be a new wife, or you might have a kid. The astral realm is very, very different. But when you go to your realm, it's like, oh snaps, I got clearance here. You don't realize it sometimes, but it's like, oh man, I have clearance. And you'll see your life, you'll see all your friends' lives, and you'll see your lives of, your friends, which is still us. That's why we said your lives, of your friends and our friends. You'll see them, let's say one of them had an issue with their mom one day. You'll see them driving around with their mom. Let's say someone was talking about money and they was complaining about it. You'll see them with so many riches, or not. You'll see so many things, but it'll all be looked at as one day. And then when you come back, you'll see, well, they're not even cool with their mom. Oh, they're not. Oh, a prophet is realizing all of these things, realizing that what the moment is, being in the now is being in this moment, which is just one moment. So everything that we ever experience, you go into this dimension in the astral realms, it'll be a moment. Everybody that you ever had beef with, you'll be in a golf club with. And it was like, there's so many ways Source will explain certain things to us about our own dimension. So a prophet becomes a prophet when they first align with the prophet frequency. And then once they align with the prophet frequency, if they're allowed or if they're given clearance or if it serves for them to come to their spiritual realm, the aspect of what they think physicality is, then they'll see what's going on in their immediate reality. It's like, oh snap, I'm in this realm. Let's say, we're in the third dimension, and I actually projected to the third dimension. And that's not allowed by a lot of people. When that happens, then what makes a prophet is being able to understand that this is all happening in one moment. So if I see something that isn't technically what I'm accustomed to because it has not happened, then, it has not happened. So then we come back, and contrary to popular belief, a prophet isn't just about talking about the future. It's not even talking about time period. A prophet is simply saying, hey, I went to the original dimension, and then we went into the third dimension within the astral realms. And listen, this is happening. I seen you do this. I seen you do this. I seen you do this. And when that terminology is being fed into this world, it's like you say you see me doing this, so I don't know if this is like the future. It has to be the future because I'm not doing it now. And the human aspect gets in the way a lot. And when it doesn't get in the way, you're in accordance. So even give yourself a round of applause because you're in alignment now. You're in accordance. You're here on earth. And this is all a mastery course for eclipse preparation. Every single thing that is said is like the Emerald Tablets. And remember, we're always going to allow this to settle within us. If any master that was revered, like Yeshua itself said, listen, I would not be wearing robes or talking like thou, thus, they in your time. If I was in your time, Nadiie, I would be wearing Jordans. I would be wearing sandals. I would be wearing, your native brands. I would be wearing your popular. I will be wearing what you're wearing. Because what I wore was what we wore. So every single person that you see, treat them as if they're a master because they very well quite could be. They could be. Including yourself. Anytime you look in that mirror, your mind's eye mirror, you need not anything of this world. Appreciate yourself like, I literally could be one of these masters. And I have to give myself credit for that. Because you also have to understand, in the time period of a master, we know that the world isn't in alignment with what we essentially provide. So we're not always trying to stand out. Know that Yeshua and Buddha and all these people wasn't trying to stand out. Especially when you get this type of information. Because there are certain councils on earth that don't like certain messages being spread. And we say, F you. F you as in forgive you. That's my F you. I don't know about everybody else's, but my F you is forgive you. And then forgive myself. You forgive ourselves. We forgive ourselves for constructing what we think we're perceiving. And then 2, we forgive all others for even signing up for the alignment that we seen as serving. Now, what we must anchor for mastery course, for this eclipse preparation, is not only change your relationship with yourself. I'm talking about everything. I don't care if you see yourself, like for example, I'm not going to perceive myself as, I have this type of hair, I have this type of skin complexion, I have this type of teeth, I have these type of clothes, I live in this type of house with this type of person, that's my significant other, with this type of this. I do this particular thing, I have this gift. Stop describing yourself, because note that you're only utilizing terms of this world. Like the quote Albert Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it. So if we translate that quote into spirituality, which everybody is in the spiritual path, note that if you have a spirit and you're on a path, you're on the spiritual path. So sometimes make sure you don't get in your own way and try to force your perspectives on people, because they're on the spirit path. They have a spirit and they're on the path. Contrary to popular belief, you aren't able to come to earth if you don't have a spirit or a soul. And note that, because there's something that's very powerful that's coming right there. So for this preparation, you change your relationship with yourself. And you first ask yourself, what do I like? And then you ask yourself, what serves for me? This is extremely important. Now, all of this is extremely important, but we understand for human terminology and transcription, us as these beings of density love certain emphasis on things because it gets us excited. So we'll just meet humanity where it is. Big emphasis on asking yourself these 2 questions. Because first, what do you like? On the eclipse and the days leading up to eclipse, because remember, time isn't real, so technically it's happening. Everybody is going to shine differently. That's what the eclipse is about. It's going to shed a new light on something. Everything is symbolic. Remember, don't come to me talking about it ain't that deep, because you either believe God is everything or God is nothing. If you understand that source is everything, then you understand, everything is deep, because all there is everything. So this eclipse And every other eclipse is about shining your light differently. And something being shined differently. Hint, hint, why there are so many beings that, certain industries thought were so untouchable. And now, yeah, we see you. Yeah, we know how it feels. The reason why this is happening is because this energy, there's an eclipse energy that's around. And it's not even just about the eclipse. It's about, listen, all of us, we've reached a new level. Peace, God's will. Peace unto you. Yeah. One of the very beautiful masters. I was waiting for you to come live for a long time. Welcome, God's will. Yes, especially in this event, the eclipse has been being prepared for a while. And it's not just about the eclipse. The eclipse is just like a final push. It's a push. But this has been happening in every full moon you see. This has been happening not even just with astrology. It's been happening with ourselves. People are quitting jobs. People are getting fired. People are breaking up. People are making up. This is happening at a rapid rate, so very fast. One moment you have a crazy argument with your mother. The next week, y'all are the best of friends. And somebody somewhere put their pride aside. Exactly. See, someone said, so this is an opportunity. Exactly. And we're so grateful you said that word opportunity, because it rolls into one other thing that we see as serving. And boom, we got this message from Source after we passed some trials regarding this. So everything that we're teaching you, Source put us through. And for us, because we're on this path, it doesn't feel too good. Because it's like, y'all think Dark Night of the Soul is bad. Wait until you experience everything. People will be like, that sounds good. Well, what if you're in a vessel that isn't necessarily thinking is prepared for it? The vessel loves to think a lot. That's why we say we need not thought, because the thought is of the vessel. And the goal is to not be in the vessel. So what we anchor and understand is being, integrating. So whatever you state out your mouth, you best be prepared to be it, become it. That's why we say be very potent with your word. So Source said, Nadiie, because you pass all of these trials about what you want to do and what actually serves, note that it isn't just about that. See, you have to understand and anchor what a miracle is. Everybody, tell your friends, tell your family, the miracle is here. Why? Because the miracle is an undoer. The miracle actually gives you nothing. The miracle undoes. If you walked 55 steps and you experienced anything that you've seen as not serving, all the miracle is going to do is put you back at zero and say, what? Choose again. God is very patient because it's timeless. I can wait for you forever. I'm going to go this far this time, Source. All right. I don't like this. People complain about their jobs and then they complain about losing their jobs, whether you got fired or whether you quit. Well, we have, as spirit beings in the Akashic records, your Akashic book, you said 35 times that you hate this job. 35 times. Our bad for not getting to you fast enough, but you just put so many obstacles in the way, and we was going to get to that. First we had to move your relationship aside. First we had to send this person to you. First we had to do this, and then by all of these things being done, we're never going to allow you to wait, because time isn't so. We're going to bring you this now and say, even though we were focusing on all of these things, we were actually focused on you as well. So once all of what does not serve around you falls, then everything that is something that you affirm as not being so falls. And today, what we all must anchor within this opportunity is, listen, the miracle is an undoer. So when something has left your life, know that's the miracle that stepped in. And now, Because our cup was so full, we emptied it out when we left something. What is this? A cup that still has room. A cup that is not full yet. Fill it with something else. Visualize a cup. Everybody visualize a cup with your eyes closed or your eyes open, okay? You visualize a cup. Now visualize this cup with red liquid in it. Ooh, Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, all of that. You visualize this cup. Now pour it out. About a quarter. Oh, you have like this much. You have a little bit left. Pour it out some more. Pour that red Kool-Aid out. Pour the substance out. Keep pouring it out. Until what? You have an empty cup. And when you have an empty cup, you can fill it with anything. That is what the miracle is. Very beautiful, right? The only thing you will ever hear from the miracle is choose again. It's simple. Choose again. So when something left your life, something miraculous has happened. Give your thanks. Not for anything outside of yourself. Say, thank you, Source, for guiding me to be your will. Move. Move. Like the stories in certain religions when Sodom and Gomorrah was, being hunted down. They said, don't turn around. You turn around, you're going to see some things. And you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck seeing some things. And when the miracle happens, you move. The miracle, remember in that story, the miracle is them leaving. Remember, when something is taken out, thank you for your very, very beautiful compliment. When the miracle is taken out, yeah, you see the craziness. But when the miracle takes out, you see what is miraculous. Again, let me say that again. When the miracle is taken out of our lives, of our anything, that's where you see the craziness. Because everybody wants to hold on to everything. That's what Buddha was talking about when Buddha said desire is the root of everything that does not serve. It's not the desire that you think about on earth if one was to only focus on density. No, it's the desire to incarnate. It's the desire to come back. It's the desire to hold on to things. It's the desire to be restrictive. These are the things. Buddha is very broad. It's not just talking about sex. No. There's many things that happen before that act. Like you incarnating. Like you thinking you can even have intercourse with another being. Remember, sex is not just about pleasure. It's intercourse. You're entering a course with someone. In the times of Yeshua, we would say, let me learn you, not let me get them goods. So when the miracle is not present within our lives, what happens is you see everybody, because the miracle does this. When it leaves, this world, remember, what comes up must come down. And it holds on and it holds on and it holds on. And when something is being held tight to something, what? If you hold or hug someone very tight, what happens, y'all? They start hurting. Oh, it's getting too warm. I feel my bones breaking. That's how Earth is feeling right now. We're holding on to something so tight. That's how the third dimension and all of these dimensions, period. You think that you're just going to go into the fourth and fifth and the sixth and the seventh dimension. The goal is to go back home to source, not go into another dimension because that dimension has its own problems. Yeah, you can fly and manifest instantaneously in the seventh dimension, but you have seventh dimensional problems. That's why there's such thing as galactic wars. Nobody thinks about these things. Yeah, I'm just so tired of the third dimension. I'm trying to fly now. That's the precipice of your life? Flight? I want to teleport. That's the precipice of your life. You are Source's child. We're not the children of Source. We are the child of Source. You are so very much powerful. And you speak of, oh, you just want to teleport. You just want to go to this realm. Even if those realms don't perceive the word problem, if you come from this dimension, you would see it as an interpretation as problems. Like in the higher realms, remember, when we even said Satan isn't real, there was people going in a frenzy, actually defending their enemy. Wouldn't it be nice if all that isn't so, all that is evil, all that is so, terrible in our own perceptions would be gone? Then why do you come and defend your own enemy? People were actually defending Satan. And not saying the being is good or bad, but this is like, y'all say it's good. I judge not. I understand Source is in all things. So it's like, wow, the people was actually defending it. And what we anchor and understand today is, listen, in these realms of light, in the heaven realms, in all of these realms, hate doesn't exist, pain doesn't exist. You say it's eternal paradise. Well, if you say the word paradise, you say heaven is paradise and heaven is eternal bliss. Look up the definitions of what you're saying. What you're saying, if you say heaven is this eternal bliss, is you're saying, yeah, there's no such thing as hate up there. That's what you're saying. So when they say heaven on earth, they say bring that here. And it's like this. Source gave us this revelation, very, very integrated revelation. And it is just like the term we use, as above, so below. Know that we shall apply that here, Nadiie. Like when you apply for a job, like a business person, you have to send in a resume to figure out if you're qualified for this job or not. You have to become that business person. Let's say you want to be in sales. You want to be the manager for an inside sales company. Well, you have to prove to this company that you have call experience. You have to prove to this company that you have, the experience of a manager. You have to prove to this company that you have the ability, the will to do this position, to be this position. As above, so below. So that was the so below. So what's left, everybody? 1, 2, 3. As above. Just like how y'all operate there, we operate a little differently, but the essence is the same here. You're not going to experience heaven later until you integrate heaven now. We're not just going to bring Lil Man and everybody up to heaven the same way y'all think Lil Man is. This is coming from experience because one of our friends on earth transitioned due to bullets from itself, from our own people. And we astral project a lot. So one of our friends, his name is actually Man, that's his nickname. He understood that a lot of people don't astral project, but he knew Nadiie astral projected, so he was coming to Nadiie a lot right after he transitioned. Oh, one said it's lagging. We're going to push through. We know that the energy is very high. And then in love, in term and in truth, there's no such thing as higher or lower. There's just love. Man came to us from the afterlife while we were astral projecting and was speaking to us like so humble. I remember the first time we seen him, there's actually spiritual tours. Remember I was talking about if you are dreaming of schools, you're actually going to what we call original dimensions. So it's actually memory, but memory of the now. Note that memory isn't just of the past, it's of the now. There's now memory. That's even said in A Course in Miracles, which is said to be written by Christ consciousness itself, not just Yeshua. Yeshua is no longer Yeshua. That's what people must understand. Jesus is no longer Jesus. The moment that being transcended, it became the Christ consciousness. Not it. Like people associate the thing, but the thing is even telling you of the flesh, I am nothing. The flesh is weak, the spirit is willing. Stop focusing on the flesh. I'm no longer that. I am Christ consciousness. And then any other Christ conscious being that comes forth can say, I am Christ consciousness. I am God's will embodied, as are you, for we are one. There's no difference. So what we must anchor as it pertains to all of this is when you dream, you actually go to these original dimensions. And me and Man, when we first seen each other after his transition to the afterlife, this is how very beautiful the afterlife is. Me and some classmates, because I actually teach in these original dimensions, me and some classmates, we all went out on like a spiritual field trip. And we went to what happens when a soul leaves the vessel. There's this buffering period where it's like God is bathing you. It's all right, baby. Just relax. With some warm water. And just feel so warm and hugging. This is what happens. And every time Source waves his hand over you, it's just peeling back a layer that you thought was needed. Because Source is very simple. Let's go back to the seed. Let's go back to the root of it all. Your soul, your spirit, yourself. And we essentially we're like, in basketball games, how you have the box at the top, yes, you can sit in the box so you can see the game as if, you were broadcasting on live television. Well, we was in that box and we was looking down, but it wasn't no basketball court at the bottom. This is the afterlife. This is what happens in the afterlife. What we were seeing is like a playground. It was like nature, like this. It was like a gym, but it was just so vibrant and colorful. It was nature here, and it was a park here, and it was this here, and it was that here, but all pertaining to the child. And Man came through. Now, remind you, this person has long locks, and he looks older, has a beard, tattoos. He came in as a child, as like a 10-year-old boy. Oh, Man, you're kind of young. And he was like, yeah, God said I gotta, be my inner child because, we was in the hood, so we couldn't. So Source was like, I'm going to give you what you couldn't experience. That's powerful. Because we have to remind the soul that it's all there is. So the moment you come out of a life that you feel like you missed out on some things, Source is saying, what you feel like you missed out on, the moment you transition, we want to give you all of that in one moment. Oh, snap, I got this. Exactly. That's who you are. Welcome back. Hey, baby. And they start baiting you. So Man came through because, the conductor of that realm said, Man, Nadiie is here, one of your friends. Nadiie. I seen him. We started crying. We hugged each other. I'm like, remember, death isn't real. And then I had this bar because we make music. And there's a song called Dead Baby. And it's like, why leave? Tell me, why should I leave? My needs floating in the Dead Sea. Dead baby. Dead homie still smoking. Bye, bye, bye. And the whole goal is to understand that even in the bars, in the verses, we said, dead homie screaming out that murder is a new life. And we was talking about Man. Because I was hugging him and we was crying. I'm just like, death isn't real, man. And he's like, yes, it gave me a new life. Even though it was, due to bullets hitting me from my own brothers, from my own sisters, from my family. Not immediate family, we're all family. Even though it was due to that, it gave me a new life. And I came back in my body. Source is just, it'll just send something just so popular, it'll just send you back like, yep, experience Earth. It's like, whoa! So, what we understand as it pertains to all of this, and just remember, this is all mastery course for eclipse preparation. Why is it a mastery course for eclipse preparation? Because you have to know all of this information. Remember, the eclipse is simply about shining your light differently. Things being shined on differently. Things, people of the word, hold on, exposed. But exposed doesn't necessarily mean it has to be bad. No, it can be good. And we anchored and understood that, this is not so, this is not real. So even if we even move back into this woven process of all of this, this person spoke on opportunity. One of the people in the comments, they spoke on opportunity. Source said the miracle is bringing back your defaults. The miracle is the undoer. Remember, the miracle doesn't give you anything. It undoes. It brings you back to zero, and it says, what? Choose again. We're going to say this throughout this until you remember. That's how school is. Certain things are repeated in a catchy way for you to integrate it. The miracle is a undoer. It brings you back to zero, and it says, what? Choose again. When you are in the miraculous energy, you go back to your defaults. Your defaults is what you, remember the first two questions that we brought forth. What you like about everything, what you see as serving. Those are the two questions. What do I like and what do I see as serving? Now, remember this extremely important for this mastery course for eclipse preparation. The moment that you go back to your defaults, the moment the miraculous energy is back in your body and you are set back at zero and you're set to choose again, now you have to, or it serves to, see through your own lenses, not what society tells you to see as, not as what your friends tell you to see as. Don't see something this way, don't see something that way if it is coming from an external source. it serves for us to go back to our defaults. Our defaults is God's glasses. That's our defaults. God's glasses. How would Source see these things? See, I always say the most powerful prayer you can ever pray, or divine statement. We say prayer as divine statement. The most powerful prayer you can ever pray is not God help me, help me, help me. Because remember, in the heaven realms, they don't even perceive the world as a helpless world. They don't perceive the world as a lack world. They don't even know what hate or help is. So that's why certain prayers don't get answered, because it's like static. You're saying God, and God is saying my child, and then you're saying help me, help me, help me. All that gets lost in translation. So it's saying what? I see you as my abundant child that has everything. So the most powerful prayer is not God help me with anything. It's God guide me to seeing this as you would have me see it. Or God guide me to seeing this with your eyes. God guide me to seeing this as you would have me see it. God guide me to seeing this with your eyes. Those are the most powerful prayers you can ever pray. Because you're quite literally bringing forth the abundance of love in your essence. And you ask yourself these two questions about the miracle. Once you come back to square zero, not 1, 0, and the miracle is asking you to choose again, you ask yourself, what do I like and what serves for me? Then you view everything through the eyes of Source. Source said opportunity. That's why we said the word opportunity when the person commented it. Opportunity. See everything in your life as an opportunity. But if these opportunities in your life aren't essentially feeding these perspectives that we integrated within you, it serves not. For example, we today are teaching about the eclipse in preparation for the eclipse and the most powerful spiritual things that people think is on earth. We're literally the embodiment of, the essence, Christ consciousness, God's will. The embodiment of all of these things. We're not just one, all of us. So when this happens, let's say you were a person who loved to draw. Well, Source is saying, listen, see everything as an opportunity. If you have a bike in your house, if you have a guitar in your house, if you have a plant in your house, if you have a patio, if you have a bed, all of those things are opportunity, because you can play in the on the bed, you can sleep on the bed, you can ride the bike, you can play on the guitar, you can water your plant, you can do all of these things are all opportunities. But if your purpose or your form of existence was being an artist on this planet, if any of those things have nothing to do with that, you're going to experience a lot of hardship, because you're going against God's guidance. It's like when I quit one of my jobs recently. I had a job, and one day, I was laying in my bed with my work clothes on, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go to my job. My body said, no, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go back. When that happens, God is saying leave. Source is saying leave. And if you go still, there must be a good reason. Source, we need these last few checks. Essentially, when the time came after our vacation, when we go back to the job after we had that experience, it was supposed to be our last day. We tried to open the doors. They're not supposed to be locked at this time. It's a 24-hour location. We tried to open the doors were locked. Source is saying, I told you not to step foot in here. Be the miracle. Sometimes Source will step in and say, no, go. All right. But you don't need the last check. This is the last check, what you're doing right now. This is the last check. Being the presence is the abundance. That's Source signing off on another priceless check. I got priceless check for days. Source, but the check is worth infinity. And you're giving me another infinity? Infinity squared 3, however the math terms are. So, when the miracle undoes and it asks you to choose again, you ask yourself the two questions: what do I like and what serves for me? Now you see everything through the defaults of yourself, through God's eyes, through Source's eyes. And then you see everything as an opportunity, because everything is now an opportunity. But like we said, if you were an artist, if, cooking something at that very moment isn't feeding what your existence is, or playing that guitar, if that's not feeding this drawing of who you are, this art, if whatever task that you feel you must do, or whatever gift or whatever purpose you feel you have, note that you are Source's will embodied. You are God's will embodied. Source and God, same thing. You are Source's will embodied. When you allow the miracle to enter you and it sets you back to zero, and it says what? The miracle says what, y'all? Choose again. When the miracle says choose again, then what we understand is, all right, now I am the living embodiment of God's will. Because the miraculous energy is in me. I'm back at square zero. I don't feel I have to do anything in this world. Now trust. What makes a master is not some particular technique or gift. What makes a master is being able to understand in full unison in truth that its alignments, its actions is that of God's. And truly anchor that, truly mean that. But that is a becoming process. You're not going to say you're the living embodiment of God on earth until you actually live a life of love or try your absolute best. Because your best is all that's required. Your best is all that's required. When you try your best, Source sent you here. So your best is enough. So when you look at everything through the eyes of Source and this miracle, remember, this is all in preparation for the eclipse. Because what is the eclipse for? Shining a light differently. Shining light upon something else. Exposing the good and what we consider the bad. That's what the eclipse is for. Now you see things differently. If it's not feeding who you are, you leave it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Because just like that door from the job that was locked, what if it wasn't locked? When you experience something miraculous like that, Source itself locked the door when it's not supposed to be locked. When you experience a miracle, know that you're in alignment. Remember, when we said when miracles are not there, what happens? Because a miracle does this. But when the miracle is not there, remember, the miracle is the undoer. So everything just gets restricted and restricted. And if you hug somebody too long, what happens? They say, oh, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Stop. That's what this world is without the miracle. Because everyone wants to hold on to things. I want the money. I want this. I want this material. I want my body. I want this. I want sex. I want this. I want that. That's what this world does. It just holds on to everything. There's people that are 95 with billions in their bank, and they don't want to give it to nobody. That's what Earth is. That's what happens when there is no miracle, because the miracle is the undoer. Now it starts to make sense of why the miracle is undoer, because you have some people saying, well, how is the miracle the undoer when it's seemingly giving you something? No, what the miracle is doing is reminding you and revealing what was already there. We didn't need to tell you that you were God's child. It's something that is already a truth within your soul. So when we take away everything else, the fact that these things could be taken away is the issue. And there's one thing that could never be taken away from you: your birthright. You came on the earth with a birthright, and that birthright supersedes any soul contract, soul agreement, even physical contract. If you don't want to pay, you don't gotta pay. Because your birthright, your first birth certificate said, signed by Source, this is my abundance. This is my will. So the miracle removes everything until it gets back to the that. And it says, choose again from this starting point. God's will. And that's why we say, refer to each other as God's will. Not, hey brother, not hey sister, not hey God, not hey king. Say, hey God's will. What do you mean? I'm the will of God? Yes. So, remember, you go through the miracle undoes, you see through your defaults, which is God's glasses, you see everything in your life as an opportunity. When that happens, you remember what your purpose is. How you find out your purpose is simply, what do you like and what serves for you? What do you like and what serves for you? The people are in their soul are saying, explain that, expound. What do you like is simple. Like, that's what do you choose to do in your day-to-day. What serves for you is what makes you feel good whilst doing it. Life is simple. Again, when you ask yourself, what do I like? It's what do you choose to do in your day to day? And when you ask yourself, what serves for me? It's what you enjoy about those choices. When you get to that point, now to prepare for this, if you figure out what your purpose is, I love to draw. If going outside and taking a walk isn't inspiring you to draw, stay in the crib and draw. If talking to that one person that you know is toxic on the phone and just gives you so much drama and all the tea, if that's not going to inspire you to draw, hang up the phone or don't answer. If talking and trying to mac with that one girl ain't going to give you any inspiration to draw, if you're an artist, now take out artist and insert whatever purpose you are, leave it alone. Because to prepare for the mastery course, for this eclipse, one must truly anchor who they are and set a clear intent. It goes full circle. Remember, what we understand is intention. And intention is not just about any particular thought or what you think a thought is, because you need not thoughts. Thought are actually outside of yourself. Science even proved that, because they're able to see energy around your head and can predict your thoughts to a computer screen, or can predict what you're thinking or what you're seeing in your mind's eye. If there's images in your mind, you can actually look this up. Science, pulling up people's thoughts through like images. So if you was thinking with this machine in your head about a lion, the little scientists can see the energy readings and be like, they're thinking about a lion, and because it's the frequency. Because even Tesla, all these years back, was saying to understand the secrets of the universe. Tesla, the person that people are still using its inventions today. Tesla said, see everything through energy, frequency, energy, frequency, energy, frequency. So that's what these beings use. They can see your thoughts. So to prepare for this eclipse, what serves for us is to know who we are and feed into that. But first, allow the miracle to come in, undo. Once the undoing process happens and we're not so restrictive, where now you can choose as God's will. You're not choosing from the choice of what this world says do. Then you're making the decision of, listen, if I'm a rapper, if going to this club or going here isn't going to feed this energy of me utilizing God's gifts in a form of sound alchemy, then I'm not going. But if I can go to that club, witness something that I can speak about for the people, because what makes a master is bridging. That's what is the master in you, bridging with another. If one uses this particular term and you don't necessarily use that particular term, if you know you have information that would greatly benefit that other person, just use the term. Because what source, A.K.A. God, cares not about the journey, only the destination. Have you made it home, my child? I don't care if you're a warlock. A warlock can become a priest. Detroit Red became Malcolm X. Come on now. This is what happens on your earth. We don't care about the journey, but did you make it home? So that's what we must focus on. Making it home. But to make it home, you feed the energy that you know you are. If you're a drawer, if you're an artist, if you like to watch videos on TikTok, you better send energy in that algorithm to only send you videos that are serving. Like, for example, Sage. And remember, all of this is for this mastery course. Because this mastery course is for this eclipse. And this eclipse is a very big one. Because what is an eclipse? From the most spiritual perspective, an eclipse simply is shining light on you differently. That's what the eclipse is about. Shining differently. Shining light on things differently. People that thought they were untouchable, shows that you can't be so untouchable. Now you're able to live the way people who are in your field live. People that are hidden, masters, You know, it's being exposed. Expose is not just about exposing bad, it's also the good. So you have, your Rashad Jamals, and you have your Michael Murdads. You have all of these beings from this spectrum and in this side of the spectrum that are of the light, that are being propelled. You know, it was the eclipse preparation. The eclipse isn't the focal point. You shouldn't just focus on the focal point. And don't even just focus on astrology. Even though there's full moons that back this up, there's stars that back it up, let's not even just focus on astrology. Look at our lives. Contrary to popular belief, the astrologists from the times of old, they didn't just look in the stars to get answers. What they understood was they aligned with the frequency of the beyond, right? They aligned themselves with the frequency of the beyond. Like, for example, when they talk about the I think it's the three wise men, or the story where there were beings that in unison seen a quote unquote star, and it was about the birth of Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, and they all met up at the exact same place, even though there was a different points of the world. Those are astrologers. But they didn't just look at the stars. See, astrology in that time, the reason why it was so powerful, it was because it was still a becoming process. Because an astrologer wouldn't even be an astrologer from like birth. That's something that has to be taught. And these techniques, the things that are so readily available in this time, that's why there's beings that if you was to channel, they'll say, listen, if anybody from your time, even the worst of the worst person from your time, the murderer, everybody, if they from that time came to our time, they would be glowing. So you have some people that would be like, well, why, like beings like the Anunnaki, like not all of them, but why certain beings like that, well, how did they like destroy so much stuff? How did the Anunnaki destroy so much stuff? How do we even fall for that? Because remember, the things that are readily available in this timeline, or what y'all think timeline is, at that time, in the time of Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, they had to go to mystery schools to get. So if we was to go, and this is per spirits that we channel, if we were to go back then, the worst of the worst person was to go back then, they'll be glowing. And humans love to worship, especially at that time. They'll literally be glowing. Sacred geometry was only in temples. I got sacred geometry tapestry all over my walls. Just that energy. We may not be utilizing it the same way as they did, but the fact that it's around, the fact that some level of us says we're interested in the Anunnaki, we're interested in ETs, we're interested in sacred geometry, we're interested in crystals, we're interested in this, we're interested in that, we're interested in sage, we're interested in Palo Santo. The fact that our souls are saying we're interested in these things is letting us know we've evolved. Because at that time, the reason why like astrologers, like those three wise men, didn't be birthed with the astrology information is simply because it has to be taught. And they got taught these things through mystery schools. Like Yeshua, contrary to popular belief, Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, that being was not birthed with all of this information. The being was birthed with the ability to soak in the information. But it still had to be taught. It was taught in a land called Qumran, and its teachers were the Essenes. And the Essene teachers are extremely powerful. Like, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen again. We're not going to say that. But the Essenes were extremely, do you think monks are disciplined? The Essenes broke down everything by millisecond. In truth, it was time that they understood we could do without. But in our translation, we will see the Essenes as breaking every action down by the millisecond. The Essenes are the teachers that taught Yeshua before Yeshua went out to Egypt, before Yeshua went out to the Eastern cultures in like India and all these. Before Yeshua traveled and was gathering all his studies for his ministry, he was taught by the Essenes in a land called Qumran. And the Essenes taught Yeshua about, astral projection. Because there were certain courses, and people may ask, well, how do you know? Remember when I said, anytime you dream, and it's not just me, it's you. Anytime you dream about schools, you're actually going to what we call the original dimension. And the original dimension is the soul memory of you learning all of these things. And it's essentially preparation for your life on earth. And The Essenes would teach. They had teachers. The Essenes, remember. Oh, it said live will end in 1 minute, so we're gonna have to come back. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Hey, verification complete. Oh, we're back. Yay! I guess they wanted to just make me move this little puzzle. And everything is symbolic. Put the puzzle in the right piece. That's sort of speaking. But the Essenes are the teachers that taught Jesus, okay? Or Yeshua. These beings will have courses in physicality. You'll learn your maths, you'll learn about sacred geometry, but then they had certain teachers that were for astral projection. And they would have classes in the astral realms. Then they will have classes about alchemy, and they will have masters of alchemy teach, and that's how Yeshua learned these alchemy things. So going back to the story of these three wise men, they went to one of these mystery schools, and they was taught these things. But in the time periods of all of the prophets and all of the masters, one thing that was so widely available and widely known was, in order to even anchor, and this is sage, in order to even anchor the frequency of all there is, one must anchor becoming. You have to become the light in order to see the beyond. Not just the stars, because the stars are representation. The stars are symbolic of what's beyond us. Everything is symbolic. We understood that. So you must become the beyond. You must become what you seek. Become the star. So the three wise men didn't follow a star in the sky to find the birth of Christ consciousness in one vessel. No, they became the stars. They used the star as reference. They waited for a particular point when everything aligned. And when everything aligned, they followed their intuition. They didn't look up constantly and say, where do I go next? Where do I go next? They waited for the alignment. The alignment says, now it happened. Then, oh snap, the Christ is being born. In like 3 days, y'all. One person on this side of the world, one person on this side of the world, one person on this side of the world. They became the stars. They learned from the mystery schools. And when everything aligned in the stars, they trusted their intuition. Go left. Go straight. Go right. Walk this town. Sleep. Because if you left the town at this particular night, you would have been captured. Go. That's how it happened. It's a becoming. But in this time, look, remember I said, even if the worst person of this time was to go back in that time, we will be glowing. Because everything that they kept so sacred and only kept in mystery schools, we just have crystals just out, just hella out. Tapestry of sacred geometry on the walls. People talking about the eclipse. People talking about, the spiritual realms. All of these things were hidden. People talking about the Anunnaki, the ETs, things that they're seeing in the world. People using certain symbols with their hands. People using mudras and all of these things. That was only taught in mystery schools. So the fact that it's so widely and readily available, the worst of the worst that was in this time period, if they was to go back in that time period, they would be glowing. Because even though we're not utilizing the spiritual things and sacred things of that time and the way that they utilized it, we have it around. Y'all had to seek months and years to find these things. And when y'all finally found one, y'all kept it so sacred. Someone said, how late is the eclipse? Is it eclipse energy? So remember, this is all, and all of this is for this mastery course for eclipse energy. Everything that's being said, envision this like we're living the emerald tablets. The eclipse is going to be for a lifetime. Because remember, what an eclipse is shining light on something differently. That's all an eclipse is. From the spiritual perspective, from the true perspective. It's about shining light on something differently. People that thought they could not be ever touched, yeah, you got caught up. People that were so hidden, they're now being exposed. Even on the good side, exposing isn't just about bad, it's also the good. People that were teachers and leaders that only had a little bit of followers is going to blow up. And, this is what this is all about. So, the eclipse, shining light on something differently. It's going to last a lifetime. They're saying it's going to start on the 8th and about the time when the moon is at its highest. Because remember, time isn't real. So there is a time, but just know that when your frequency, just like the three wise men, they seen the stars connect, a Christ is being born. They become the frequency and they just follow their intuition. That's how astrologers worked at that time. So the moment you feel the moon is at its highest, you look outside, eclipse. People say don't look out. The reason why people say don't look outside when the eclipse is happening, listen, there's multiple perspectives of it. Because we astral project every single night. And people may ask, how is it even possible? How is that not taxing? Well, there's a technique where if you're getting a little too tired, you can astral project from the dream realm. So you can create a portal from the dream realm and go into the astral realms. And it's easier on the physical body. So in the spirit realms, that's in this dimension. So we have this dimension that we're in. Let's call it the third dimension. Really the fourth. Let's just call it the third dimension because people are aware of that. This third dimension that we think, there's a spiritual version of this dimension. Now, beings of any particular dimension are not allowed unless they are given clearance by spirit to come into that dimension. And the spirit realms, why? Because, you have certain beings that just want to get the lottery numbers and then come back. You have those. It's an integrity type of thing. But in this dimension, in the realm of the spirit, there was a war happening. It was a very, very bad war. There was one that already happened. There was already bodies and stuff on the floor. And then there was another one about to happen. I finally, and this says who I am, but it also says who you are. Remember, who I am. I am is not just about what you think you see. I am is it's who you are. Source was like, activate Nadiie. Sent me, gave me clearance to come in this realm. I astral projected and I thought I was in the astral. Because when you go into the astral realms, what happens is you go to a neighboring dimension, or you go to whatever dimension you want to say. You want to go where the masters are. If you're aligning yourself with that frequency, if you became the frequency of the ascended masters, you can astral project to that realm. I remember, quick little story, very quick. Astral projected to a realm where there was like walking animals, and I seen Buddha, and Buddha was in this realm, and I didn't know I was there, and they had to coach me to anchor the energy because it was very heavy. It was heavy, and it's oh my God, just presence. It's just everybody just so present. So moving back, usually you just go into a neighboring dimension or whatever other dimension. Usually you're not allowed, per spiritual clearance, to go into your own dimension. If you're in a third dimension in physicality, or what you think physicality is, you're not allowed to go in that third dimension in the spirit realms. Source gave me clearance. I woke up in the astral realms, How it feels is when you're going on this fast on water, do a dry fast for just one day. And you'll kind of feel how it feels to be in your astral body. You feel very light. Not light as in the color like this. Light as in not so heavy. You feel like you can just move through things. And usually when I astral project, you're in a different environment. You may be in your house, but the house can be a little bigger. You may have an extra couch here. You may have more furniture. You may have a different wife. You may have a different life in the astral realm when you astral project. But when you're given clearance, which is very rare, to go in your original dimension, I woke up, and I was in this dimension, but in the spirit realm. So I seen everything, and everything looks normal. My couch is where it's supposed to be. Everything is where I thought I just woke up. My cousin called me because we was about to pass some flyers because I have a show on April 7th, and everything is in complete alignment. Remember, in this show, I'm a musician. We utilize sound alchemy. And I was talking to my cousin, and he was talking about how, we want to pass out flyers. So that was a conversation when I went to sleep, and I astral projected. So when I woke up, he was talking outside of my door, but talking to me on the phone, very loud. I'm like, Matthew, why are you talking so loud? I hear you. Just walk in the door. That should have been red flag number 1. You're not in physicality, buddy. But he's so joking. It was okay, that's just Matt. He's just extra. So, I opened the door. Let's go. And he was like, we're gonna bring us a friend Zoe. We're gonna go pass out these flyers. So we was passing on these flyers, and then I walked outside, and everybody was living at once. It was I was looking in a snow globe, and I seen everybody at once. See, what Christ consciousness is, to anchor it, is knowing that everything is one of your thoughts. And it's not actually a thought, but we're utilizing these terms for human transcription. What makes a master is bridging. So if we understand the word thought is going to connect with somebody, we're just going to say thought. We're not too busy in the journey. We're focused on the destination. The destination is getting home. preparing for the eclipse. Now, that's what Christ consciousness is knowing that everything is of your construction, of your creation. It's yours. So, Matt, we walked to the car, we're passing all these flyers, and then I seen everything. Like a snow globe. There was a giant war happening. So I walked out, because I seen it like through these windows. I walked out. The moment I stepped foot on the battlefield, everybody ran away. And I was like, well, hold on a second, who the heck am I? Like, I already knew, like, I know I'm of the frequency of Christ consciousness. I know I'm God's will embodied, as are you, for we are one. There's no difference between us. I understand this. It's one thing knowing it, and it's one other thing seeing it. We literally stopped a war with presence. You stopped a war with presence. Because to be God's will embodied, to be Christ consciousness on earth, remember, all of us is, and to bring forth this awareness, exactly, spiritual warriors. I love it. We're all in perfect alignment. To be the spirit, that's why we say 33s. If you see us using these mudras, it's something that we created, 33s, and a mudra that we created, a very powerful mudra. And Source is giving y'all clearance to hear about this. That's why I'm so excited to talk about it. So we created a mudra, and it's very, very powerful. This mudra, we used to go in like meetings with Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, all these Christ conscious beings. There's a lot of them. Yogananda, everybody. And we all constructed a mudra. And essentially how that happens is those beings' essence, they rest within us. We integrate with them. And then they say, your thoughts are our thoughts. Your actions are our actions. Be the light on earth. That's how powerful it is. Like when you're learning from beings in the astral realms, even the most revered ones, they say, I'm not going to just teach you something because you're not going to remember that. I'm going to guide you to learn how to become this frequency. Become me, so that every single action you make is my action. Or our action, or just the action of truth. So, we stopped a war with our presence. The spiritual war that everybody was talking about, one already happened. But because God gave us clearance, because Source gave us clearance to walk into the astral realms within our own dimension, because remember, you have to be given clearance to go to your own dimension in the spirit realms, because some people just want to get their own lottery numbers, and some people have integrity. The ones that have integrity are allowed. We came as Source's will, which is you. So you went into the astral realms in your own dimension. We all have been given this clearance. And then boom, we stopped the war. No more spiritual war. But what happens is, remember, the eclipse. What is an eclipse, everybody? We're going to keep repeating it because that's how you learn. What is an eclipse? An eclipse is simply something being shined on differently. That's all an eclipse is. So things that thought they were so untouchable, you got caught up. Things that felt like they could never get money or never reach notoriety, light is being shined on you differently. The people that have only like anybody that joins this live, even if it's not on this platform or another platform or life's platform, you're just living your life because life is a platform. If you feel like you want to be in everybody's eye and you have so much to give and offer to this world because you join this live, because you join this embodiment, opportunities is just going to be just shooting from you. This is like when Yeshua was speaking. I remember Yeshua was talking to me because I was posting videos on this platform for like 8 months and other platforms, because I didn't just start teaching on technology. I was holding a lot of gatherings. My birthday is 010101. You should already know if you're a numerologist and of astrology. Oh snap! I know who this is now just from that. So every year on my birthday and every month, I would bring all my friends together in the whole neighborhood because everybody loved me. And they was like, yo, Nadiie, we want to be a part of this. So I would bring everybody together and I would hold a prayer. And then we're going to give that prayer to you. Because I'm Native American, Sikh Sika. And the elders giving us this prayer. And we will hold gatherings. I'm going to give that prayer to y'all. So y'all stay tuned for the breaking, the Native American prayer. Yes, you're going to hear it. Well, that's why I'm telling you that we're affirming for you. If you feel like you have something to offer this world, if you ask yourself the two questions, What do I like? What serves for me? And you actually find the answers. Remember, what do I like is what do you choose to do in your day-to-day. And what serves for me is what do I actually enjoy doing? What choices do I enjoy? If you ask yourself those two questions and you actually formulate an answer, you align yourself with the miracle. The miracle does not give, it takes away. This world wants to hold on to everything. I want my money, I want my body, I want my relationship, everything lasts forever. The miracle is the undoer. It separates. Because what happens when everything is so tight and restricted? When you hug somebody so hard, it hurts. The miracle is the undoer. So, anyone who joins this live, this presence, oh, your life is changing. Because what is an eclipse? An eclipse is simply shining light on something differently. So that's why everything that's being said, because they said that the video was going to save, the live was going to save. So we're going to post this as well so everybody can remember. And if it's too long for this platform, we're going to post it on YouTube. Anybody who feels like they have something to offer to the world, you ask yourself these questions, you follow this live, you actually listen, your life will change. Because this aspect of yourself is Christ consciousness. And we are one. I'm simply a mirror. So the fact is actually a divine law. What you see is what you are. So if you see a master, you are a master. The beings that were able to see Buddha, the beings that were able to see Yeshua, they are masters. Because it's a divine law. What you see is what you are. So when you affirm that I am looking at God's child. Oh my gosh, his birthday is 010101. Oh my God, he's talking about these things. Oh, he kind of fits these type of descriptions. I'm not a particular person. I am that I am. It's just very simple. And you are who you are, and we are one. So it's like, clap. Everybody give yourself a round of applause. We made it. We finally made it. After all the craziness. So we're going to give you this native prayer, or divine statement, as we say. And the reasoning for all of this is, listen. This eclipse is happening, and you have to understand that it's a becoming process. You have to become. Figure it out. Because when this happens, everything is shined on differently. If you feel like you have nothing to offer the world, Source is going to be like, we're going to give you everything. And if you want to refuse it, no. If you feel like you have everything to offer the world, I can just give the world everything. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to be shined on differently. You think you can only give to the world? We're going to guide you to be so powerful you can give to the universe. That's what the eclipse is. Something being shined on differently. That's why there's certain beings that thought they were untouchable that are now getting caught up. Someone said, and remember, if you have any questions, state it. Because now the statements is coming through. The divine statements, the A.K.A. prayer, that's coming through. Someone said the 10-14-23 Ring of Fire solar eclipse and 4-8-24 totally marked. Yes. Very, 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 very powerful stuff. Each eclipse, your life will be shined on differently. That's why you have some people fear-mongering and say, don't look outside, don't go outside. The reason they're saying that is simply because they're themselves not together. We thought we were so spiritual. And finally, we're being asked to, you made your bed? Lay in it. How spiritual are you? How good are you? How loving are you? Because now it's not a time of choice. Now is a time of being. Y'all had a lifetime to play these duality games. Not y'all who's here. We made it. Give us a round of applause. Even the people that you think didn't make it, that's not in the live, their presence is being felt. Nadiie is just one aspect of yourself that's teaching this. God sent this to every single master, every single leader. Didn't even want to make a video today. God said, get up. Now, April 1st, go on a dry fast. I'm on a dry fast. Because you have to prepare. And it's a preparation of becoming. Ask yourself these two questions. What do I like to do? And what serves for me? What you like to do is the things that you do in your day-to-day, your routine. What serves for you is the choices that you actually enjoy. When you ask yourself those two questions, Source then says, this is the preparation, all of this. We're actually living like the Emerald Tablets. All of this It's like, all right, now when you figure yourself out, when you know who you are, you only do things that align with who you are. If you are an artist, if going to that club ain't gonna give you some inspiration to make that painting, you bet not. You bet not go to that club. I know that much. The native prayer is coming. Remember, we're all integrating. You better not go to that club. If you're a doctor, if you're not studying on how to become the most surgical doctor in the history of all, if you're not in the business to heal, go. My date of birth is 11/22/77 and 11 on the dot, awakening. Everybody, yes. Everybody, state your date of birth. Everybody, state your date of birth. Let's all come together and know who we are from the astrological level, from the star level, because it's eclipse, from our knowingness level, asking us these two questions. What do I like? What serves for me? The purpose of all of this is to know who you are. From the moment you were born to the moment of your awareness, which is all of this. Everybody state your birthday. And we're going to celebrate. Be transparent and shine your light. We made it. Everybody talking about they don't want to go outside and they don't want to look outside because the eclipse, that's what's going to stop you? Some light? Nah. We know who we are. Again, if you don't remember, my birthday is 01/01/01. That should let you know who I am. All these people that you see their birthdays, that should know who they are. That should let you know who they are. If you love numerology, we just gave y'all the numerology. We're the new masters of today. Remember, I said everything that we see in this spirit realm and that we think, because remember, spirit realms has now merged with the physical realm. Physical realm is actually no more. It's only the spirit realms. That's why we're seeing ETs in Miami. That's why we're seeing all of these things. That's why on the 8th of this eclipse, these scientists want to shoot, things in the sky and create portals. Because you can't create a portal in the physical world. Nobody is thinking. We're thinking because we joined the live. But you can't create a portal in the physical realm. You can only create portals in the spiritual realm because portals exist in the spiritual realms. That should let us all know, they done duped us. We all, the whole planet, we're on New Earth right now. We're on New Earth. Oh my God. That's how they're able to create portals. That's why all of these crazy things is happening. That's why we're seeing multiple suns in the air. That's why all ETs are coming. That's why all of these things is happening. We're on New Earth. And what is happening? The little bit of beings that transition with us, they want us to go back and revert. And what is an eclipse? An eclipse is shining light on something differently. The beings that thought they were so untouchable, you got caught up. And everybody here now, if you feel like you have something to offer this world, this eclipse energy is preparing you for it. If you feel like you are the best drawer, the best teacher, the best anything, this eclipse is going to shine light on you differently. That's why certain beings don't want you to go outside, because they're not knowing within themselves. They don't want you to go outside. They don't want you to experience this life and say, oh, snap, I'm larger than this entire world. He's the best Pop-Tart maker. I don't care what you say. Someone said he's the best Pop-Tart maker. You could be the best cook. Somebody said they're very successful in meditation. Everybody, state your birth. My birthday is 01/01/01. If you know numerology, if you know about astrology, you should know exactly who I am and why we say we're God's will embodied. Everybody state your birth, because part of knowing how to prepare for this is knowing yourself from the most astrological level, from the numerological level, and you ask yourself these two questions. Ask yourself, what do I like to do? And then you ask yourself, what serves for me? Someone said your energy is amazing, bro. We love you. It's a divine law. What you see is what you are, so your energy is amazing. What you like to do is what you do in your day-to-day. What do you do in your day-to-day? What serves for you is the choices that you actually enjoy. When you figure those two things out, everybody type your birthday in, put your birthday in the chat. Let everybody know who you are. On the numerological level, I am this. You ask yourself these two questions. On a knowingness level, I am this. You talk about your profession. This is, or what you feel like your gift to God is. If you're perfect, and this is very specific, and we're going to get to that native prayer, y'all. But remember, you have to learn all of this so the prayer makes sense. If you are, let's say, a doctor, but you actually want to be a teacher, don't say you're a doctor right now. Say you're a teacher, because the eclipse is what? Everybody, we want to keep saying this so everybody remembers. The eclipse is just shining light on something differently. So this energy is going to shine light on you differently. We got someone 7/12/1959. We got 0101 in me. We got 02/24/1986, red silver. That 1959 is Diane. We got 01/30/2004, life path 1, avian. Come on, someone said that they master. This is what we love to see. What is your birthday? What is your gift? Not just your profession. If you are a doctor and you know you want to be a teacher, say you're a teacher now. Say you're an artist now if you want to be an artist. Whatever you want to be, this eclipse energy is simply shining light on you differently. God is literally saying, I want to help, and I'm going to show the world something different. God, A.K.A. Source. Source is saying, we're going to utilize this energy. And first, you put your birthday in the chat. You figure out who you are from a numerological point of view. Then you ask yourself these two questions. The first question is, what do I like to do? The second question is, what serves for me? And when you align yourself with who you are completely, I am a guide to the center of your... Come on. We have Master J, 1129. We got Kelly, 4/24/93. Come on. And when you... put your birthday in the chat. Put who you want to be. If you are a doctor but you want to be a teacher, say I'm a teacher. Don't say what the world has given you. All right, everybody. We know who we are. Remember, the miracle is an All right, everybody. Remember, the miracle is an undoer. This world loves to constrict on things so much. So all the miracle does is undo. Because when you hug on something too tight, it hurts. It's 11:11, y'all. Let's start the prayer. I am Sika. So, peace unto you all. My name is Nadiie. I am that I am. God's will embodied, as are you. There's no difference. There's no difference in the reasoning of why we're coming here on this moment. Someone said before we start this prayer, because we answer everybody's questions, so if you have your questions, ask them now, because we're going to get deep in this native prayer, in the native tongue. Why should we prepare for eclipse? I always thought it just covers the sun. It's very beautiful. The reason is because there's a lot of energy and symbolism behind these things. Anything, the term as above, so below, what happens in the physical realms, or what we think the physical realms is, it happens in the spirit realms. So all the eclipse means symbolically is going to shine light on something differently. If you look at the world, all you got to do is look at the world. People that we thought never could be touched, and they were so high in whatever field and industry they're in, they're getting caught up. People that we thought wouldn't be popular, that are teaching about God, they're being popular. Studies from years ago are now resurfacing on TikTok. The spiritual receipts are coming. And we thought this type of information would never be so readily available. It's because of this energy. It's not necessarily the eclipse energy. The eclipse is just the precipice of it. It's the push. That's what the eclipse is. It's the push. The final thing that we're going to state for this live is the prayer, the native tongue. For everyone that has missed the live, because we're going to say the prayer after I make this statement. So everybody, before we start this prayer, you ask yourself these two questions. What do I like to do, and what serves for me? This is the preparation. What you like to do is what you do in your day-to-day. What serves for you is the choices that you actually like. You put your birthday in this chat. Everybody that's here, we made it. The fact that you're even attracted to the light, the fact that you're even attracted to another being that's embodying Christ conscious, like you, for what you see is what you are. There's There's not just one being that's Christ conscious. The whole planet is. Remember, we've been duped. We're living in new earth now. That's why we're seeing ETs. That's why we're seeing Anunnaki. That's why we're seeing beings on the 8th that are quote-unquote scientists wanting to shoot portals in the sky. Remember what we said. You can't create a portal in a physical reality. Why isn't nobody like, aside from us, we know it, but why isn't everybody else realizing that? We're in the spirit realms. The spirit realms has now merged with the physical realms. Oh, snaps. They're creating portals. We're in New Earth. So we have certain beings that want to bring us back. So the eclipse is this precipice. So everybody, put your birthday in the chat. Figure out who you are. Know who you are from the numerological level. Or I'm probably butchering that word, but who cares about Earth language? We're going back home. But in numerology, put your birthday in the chat and then put what you want to do, what your God-given gift is. If you're a doctor and you want to be a teacher, don't say you're a doctor, say you're a teacher. We got Adele 07/11/1991. We're going to go to one of our other jobs and teach because we have a gathering after this. But before we go, we're going to say our native prayer in the native tongue. They said this is going to be saved to my phone. So if it is, we're going to post this entire live on YouTube. So before we say the native tongue prayer to wove everything in, let's read these birthdays. I'm going to read these birthdays because I got to leave by 11:30. So we got life path number 1, Richard. I am a creative genius and musical healer. His birthday, guess what Richard's birthday? All the people in numerology, we got another Christ conscious being, 12/21/75. Okay, everybody's a Christ conscious being. We all are. Let me see your birthdays. That's the proof. My birthday is 01/01/01. That's to let you know. But Source put me in this position to just be so apparent with y'all with it, so y'all can be it's pretty undeniable. So when a being of the truth says that you are also the being of truth, when the master says, "No, you the master," when I bow to y'all think I'm cool. Y'all are the ones. We got Vani. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. She's born 04/14/05. Christ conscious. All of them. All of us. Everybody that types their birthday in. Everyone that says who they are. Says what they want to do. If you're a doctor, you want to be a teacher, say you're a teacher. Because what is an eclipse? Shining light on something different. Come on. We got Manuel. If he did this on purpose, you the truth. He said his birthday is 10/ just no numbers afterwards. He said, I'm infinite. I'm just in the universe. I'm just there. I'm not hella there. I'm lighter there. Who am I? February 27th. Okay. Oh, let's talk about it. Othniel. May I say your name right? Okay, entrepreneur. After this, we're going to say our native tongue. We got to leave at 11:30 to hold our gathering. We have a gathering in physicality. Remember, we don't just teach on technology. We actually live this life in the physical world. Adele, entrepreneur, media creator. All right, everybody. Oh, we got Wayne's coming in. Wayne's, he's saying his live, his birthday, 10/20/24, life path 9. That is a Christ conscious being. Listen, every single day around this time until the eclipse happened, we're going live for y'all. This is not something that just happened to me. I didn't want to make a video today, but remember, God sends the light to everybody, sends the message to everybody. Eclipse coming. It's a different eclipse. Everybody figure out who you are, because if you don't figure out who you are, you're going to feel a lot. And I love y'all so much, I'm going to give all the leaders the heads up. So you have Michael Murdad doing this. You have me doing this. You have other teachers doing this. You have Ryan Cropper doing this. You have pastors, even people that y'all think ain't even spiritual in certain religions. If you go to certain churches in any religion, they're going to start talking about this type stuff. Everybody that is of source, that has even the smallest amount of light within them. We all have an abundant amount of light, but it's about what we're aware of. Even the beings that think they only have a little bit. I can never be the embodiment of source. I'm just, a very beautiful, servant. Even being a servant is very, very big. So, bravo. We're meeting everybody where we are. Everybody got the same call. Something is different about the world. I'm breaking up with exes I never thought I would break up with. I'm leaving situations. People are getting fired left and right. Industries are crashing. This is the fall. This is the flood. Everybody, after this statement, we're saying our native prayer. And we're going to conclude. And if this video gets saved, like they said it will, we're going to post it for our YouTube so you can see the entire thing. This is the preparation course for the eclipse. Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, came to me. We got Dion, 06, 1975. God bless you. Okay, Christ conscious. You got She Sporty, 12, 10, 90. Life at 5. Okay, Christ conscious. Okay. So, what we understand, it's not an eclipse, it's a solar flare. All of them are in unison, brother. Brother, sister, demigod. They're all in unison. Remember, as a master, it's about bridging. So let's say even if it wasn't an eclipse, right? Everybody is recognizing it as an eclipse. So as a master, we must bridge. If we know these people will utilize, and it is an eclipse, but if we know these people utilize certain language, we just want to say the language, because God cares not about the destination. It's just about, or God cares not about the journey, just the destination. So God cares about the destination. You can be whatever you want to be, use whatever, you like forms of language that you see as serving. That's fine. Be a warlock, because who cares? But are you going to be the light at the end of the day? Before your life ends, are you going to be like, ah? It's only in a generation of hate and deceit where a Detroit Red cannot become a Malcolm X. So source, because if we were living by today's rules that society tells us to teach, we would never have a Malcolm X, because he was Detroit Red. He was a gang. Essentially, he was like a gang member, and then he changed his life. That means everybody can change their life. He's like the embodiment of the eclipse. So this is a story about Yeshua. Now people want to hear about the story about Yeshua before we say the native tongue, because we got to leave at 11:30. So I'm stretching it. So right at 11:30, everybody's done. Yeshua came to me a few days ago. Actually, no, it was yesterday. Yeshua, A.K.A. Jesus, came to me. And remember, we're all Christ-conscious beings. I am Christ-conscious. People that y'all think are in the future are actually channeling Nadiie. People that's in the future are actually channeling you. You're that powerful. Remember, we're in New Earth. We're in New Earth. Somebody said Yeshua's birthday is today. Hey, it's no coincidence. Nothing is coincidence. So everybody is Christ conscious. We're actually in New Earth. All these beautiful things are happening. So Yeshua came to me yesterday and was like, Nadiie, it's so interesting that people want to be like me, and people want to dress like me, and people want to live like me. It's very beautiful, for I am the way to live. Though that is, Nadiie, you must know that if I was in your times, I would not be wearing robes and these garments. I would look like you. I would be wearing Jordans. And then just stopped. That's how powerful these masters. They say something very, very potent, and they'll leave. And it's like oh, snaps. I never thought about it like that. It's like, if a master was in any dimension, any timeline, he would look like the people. He was just like, yo, Nadiie, the reason why I talk like thou this day was because that's how we talked at that time. In your time, I will be using your slang. Because the point is to bridge with one another. This is the new earth. Exactly. We're living in new earth. The point is to bridge with one another. I will speak how you speak if I can get God across to you when things are spoken that way. We're not going to allow our egos to get in the way. If you use the term Allah, and I know you only use that term, I don't care if I don't necessarily agree with the word Allah. I'm going to just say it. Oh, Allah is this, Allah is that. But for, my people that understand what I understand, I'll say source. For the people that don't understand that, you just meet people where they are. Be a nice person. Now, note that. So the reason that why Yeshua sent that to us yesterday, I didn't even know in terms of planning that this was going to happen today. Literally, I woke up and God was like, teach. And it's happening for everybody. Michael Murdad is teaching, me, Brian, even Rashad Jamal, everybody at the same, even people that you think are not of this light, that are pastors and preachers, everybody that's really of the light, they are anchoring this frequency and teaching in their own way. They're utilizing the words that will connect with the people. Don't expect a pastor to talk as a master from Tibet, because that's a disconnect with his people. So judge not these people. They're speaking in such a way about stories that will connect. Someone said, razzle dazzle, what's around your neck? This is an amethyst crystal we got from Sedona. Sedona in Arizona is a very, very spiritual place. It's actually a vortex. It's a big portal. Everything is high. All amethyst does, all any crystal does, it has to be activated. You activate a crystal by simply setting an intention with Source. You don't got to charge it. You got to do none of that because you're the sun. To activate a crystal, you say, Source, guide me to seeing this crystal as you would have me see it. And so it is. I always tell you, that's one of the most powerful prayers you can ever say. God, guide me to seeing this as you would have me see it. Not God, help me, help me, help me, because you're that which is God's abundance. You need not help. So when you activate amethyst, all amethyst does is plant a loving thought in your mind, and you're able to choose if you want to utilize it or not. There's always a choice. So, everybody, I know y'all been waiting. It's now 11:24. We're going to not conclude. There's no such thing as ending. We're going to wove everything together by saying a native prayer. All right? In the native tongue. Okay? Everybody get the jitters out. Oh my gosh, we're experiencing Christ consciousness again. But what you see is what you are. So it's actually emerging from you. Remember. So, let's introduce ourselves. Peace unto you. I am Nadiie. Nadiie Black. I am of Siksika in this vessel. Blackfoot in the terms of English. Today, we're bringing forth light language. Light language can be woven into your daily tongue. See not light language as something of an ET's verbiage. See light language as a bridge. And what is a bridge for? To walk across. So any peoples can walk across this bridge and speak in the tongue of the light. It can be woven into your very language. It's all about intent. What is intent? Intention is not just a thought that you have. That's not what actual intention is. An intention is being clear in a decision that shall be made. If you have to go to work and you know you want to go to work and it serves for you to go to that job or whatever job it is, or create or draw or sing, and you know that's what you do on the day-to-day, an intention is waking up knowing that will get done. Everybody got to go to the restroom when they first wake up. That's an intention. I'm going to the restroom. I'm not going to hold it through the whole day. That's what an intention is. Something that you know will get done. So, as we anchor this presence of the I Am, know that light language can be formed and utilized within all of your tongues. Today it serves not to judge another. Today it serves not to judge this religion or that religion. For God sees all. Source sees all. And our sight is what we affirm. Our existence is enough. So when all there is sees us, no matter what culture we are from, when all there is sees us, that means we're enough. Because if we weren't enough, we would not have been seen. Meaning we would not have existed. So cut the judgment, cut the hate, cut all of it. Because we're on new earth now. We're not being duped no more. Know that every time you speak, you are speaking through the will of Source. Know that who you are is enough. A.K.A. Pistituki. Ispamokanan. Nakait sitsinan. Nakeki mutsitsinan. Nakokamotosanan. Nena. Nikista. Kitsika komim. Oh, tokenana pistituki. Nakaikaki masana. Ikanapi. Nistoapi. Akanistoa. Source, we're very, very grateful for your presence, bringing us into this awareness of now. We anchor that our existence is enough. We know that this eclipse may bring forth fears and abundances for some and some others. But we ask that we all come in unison with a singular intent of coming home. We understand that we are living in the dream of our ancestors. We understand that the reverence of our ancestors, the worshiping of our ancestors served for the moment. But now it's reversed. Our ancestors are revering us, for we made it into their prophecies. We're living what they prophesized about. We're very grateful, Source, for your putting of us in this existence and awareness, guiding us to anchoring that we are enough, guiding us to anchoring that our sight, our actions, our will is that of the light. We need not any being, any angel, any guide, any spirit guide, any animal totem that are seemingly outside of ourselves. For now, Source, you have distributed and gifted from a seed within as it blossoms to us all there is. All the beings that we have ever revered, as in beings in physicality, leadership, spirit realms, any archangel, any being that we see as Sirius, Pleiades, any being, Anunnaki, any being, Thoth, Jesus, Buddha, we are them now. And we affirm them now. Never are we going to reveal ourselves in this external sense in such a way that essentially says separation is so. We know separation is not so, Source. So for all the beings that are present within this live, know that we are actually alive. This is not just a live. This is alive. This is life. So thank you for this life. Thank you, Source, for guiding us to being in this presence every single day until the 8th. We'll be holding this space. On the 8th, everybody that sees this 7 days worth of information, worth of truth, you integrate it. And on that 8th day, you just become. Nixik Sinitsip. Peace.